G'day my friends, Marty Ware here from Marty's Garden on YouTube. How you going? Look, I've got this unreal little small space garden. It's about 3 years old, and I just wanted to give you some tips on how I've performed and grown it over time to be really super productive, even to the stage where now I'm moving into becoming the next stage of the micro farm. So we're selling the compost and the compost worms out of here, and we're looking at selling food to the restaurants, such as microgreens, which I eat as well. So that pays for my price of my food, of the microgreen seed and my labor, and then also delivering to some locals, which is really, really cool. Now, one of the things with small spaces that you've got to get right is you've got to understand you can have a high space, a mid space, and a low space, which they teach in permaculture gardening, in food forest design and stuff like that. But I sort of stole that idea many years ago because I thought it was so great for small space gardening. So you have an upper canopy, a mid canopy, and a low canopy. And an example of that might be like you have like something like up here, the Bulgola. Now I removed the passion fruit. We don't have a passion fruit this year, but passion fruit is running all over that. And then up and down the poles, I have plants sort of tied up and using that mid space, and then underneath the plants sort of drip through and then use that water down below, which I'll show you sort of behind here. I've got a plant growing now. It's one of those yellow button squashes, and underneath it I've got some lemongrass growing there. So that is a pure example. So other than that, using your space accordingly, you need to really plan to grow well. Now, not everyone has the perfect optimum position, but you do the very best you can. Now, the best, what I recommend, is morning to midday sun to around about maybe 1 o'clock, and then sort of shading it off with some spattled shade after that. Now, you might want to grow some like big amaranth or some tomatoes or things to shade other plants from afternoon sun, that they love the full sun, and then you can use it that way if you don't have a way to shade them. Another thing is sort of container gardening, growing all your herbs in containers, and when they outgrow them, if you've got a space to put them in the ground, do that later on. But you sort of want to expand out small and slow, and then work out where your sort of highest management rate is of what you can deal with over time. But look, if you're a real time struggler and you want to use vertical space, I highly recommend that you use something like an air garden. Now I'm going to leave a link up here, one of these cards up here with the vlogs about the air garden. It's a vertical aeroponic system. You just water it from the base down below. It pumps up and sprays over the roots, and the oxygen makes these plants grow just like crazy, and there's no soil or dirt or anything to sort of deal with, and super easy to manage and very, very time efficient. That's why I love it, and it's moving into a part of the micro farm here to grow food for the locals and for the restaurants. So yeah, really actually super stoked for that. Now, you can also that's not the right word to say. You can also practice taking cuttings from your plants so you can save money. So it's like from your chilies and from your tomatoes and from your basil and all your different herbs, and then build out your stock that way instead of like spending a lot of money. And that way you just choose the foods that you like the most, take a cutting at the right time, get it ready, and then grow it on into the season. Now, another thing that I like to grow here is like compact plants other than my fruit trees, such as my avocado, my Brazilian cherry, things like that. I like dwarf tomatoes and dwarf capsicums, and then you've got like jalapenos and small chili plants and things, and they're super productive, and you can grow a lot of food out of them, and yeah, you can just like enjoy life to the max. So you've got your microgreens, you got your leafy greens such as your lettuce, your rocket, and you've got all different herbs such as your basil, your garlic chives. Ooh, I use a lot of those. The things that you love to grow, some oregano, maybe some mints for teas and things like that. And then just slowly build them out and use them. Think about the recipes, how you're going to use them, and be time productive with your small space. And you'll never ever look back. You'll be super surprised at what you can do. Just make sure you give your plants plenty of nutrition. If you're doing it organically, make sure you give them some good compost, bit of worm cast, bit of worm tea, things like that. If you're going for something like an air garden tower, make sure you buy a good quality product that, that's got at least a 5-year guarantee, which these ones do. So keep an eye on the show here at Marty's Garden. Hopefully I've provided some insight for you and inspired you in some way to grow some more food at home. It is a very special thing to do to take care of our food security and enjoy the benefits of living healthy and getting our hands on green, tasty plants instead of what crap that comes out of the shop mostly these days, covered in plastic bags. Really getting even worse as we speak. So, have a great day. Happy gardening. Let me know if you've got any comments down below, any questions, and I'll see you at the next video real soon. Bye for now.